this video, I'm going to tell you how to break a bad habit without relapsing, because that is usually the problem that people have when they're trying to lock in, right? And it's going to be pretty long, so I need you to save this video and watch to the end, because every part of this video's information is very vital. So this thing, right, about locking in, when people try to lock in, usually it is very impromptu. Maybe they've seen something or someone and they're like, you know what, I want to lock in. From now, I want to lock in. You would relapse twice as fast as you made that decision. Yes, you cannot just decide, I want to lock in, and then from there on there, you think you're going to lock in and you're going to stay locked in. It's not going to happen. You would relapse because you did not plan your exits properly. So I'm going to teach you how to plan your exit properly, and all of this has worked for me personally. I have done this, and that's what I'm coming to tell you, so that you can also do it too for yourself. So let's say you have a bad habit of overeating, binge eating, or smoking or drinking. I'm going to use these three as an example because they are the most common. Now, before you decide to lock in, give yourself a time period. Let's say if it's a few days before your day of locking in. Give yourself a time period, even if it's, let's say for example, you want to lock in next week Monday, and today is Monday. So you want to lock in from next week Monday. Give yourself, let's say, from now till Sunday, right? And do that habit completely. Give into that habit, all in, right? I need you to really, really don't do it with judgment, because there's also this thing about bad habits where you do it as like you're ashamed because you're doing it on autopilot and you feel like it kind of controls you and stuff. I don't need you to do it like that. I need you to get into this habit with the mindset that you chose it and you do it with your full chest. You get into this habit with your full chest, and make sure you are really, really doing whatever you like. If you say you want to smoke, you want to drink, you want to do it properly, right? And I'm going to tell you why. I need you to get into it also, not as someone who is controlled and is trying to use it as an escape, but someone who is trying to observe themselves. You see how those people who go on Nat Geo Wild and they observe nature and animals and stuff like that, you need to do the same thing to yourself. You need to observe yourself. When you start this habit, like you want to overeat and overdo all of that, observe yourself. Get into it, but in the observer seats. Find out how it makes you feel. Because before you decided that you want to stop this habit, you have realized that it's something that takes more than it gives to you, right? It has more disadvantages than advantages. That's why you want to stop it in the first place. But the thing sometimes is that we are not very self-aware, usually, when we do it. So I need you to do this habit in this few days before you lock in, self-aware. I need you to do it and observe exactly what it does to you. And usually when people start to observe what it does to them is after they are finished doing that habit. I need you to do it in the process, and I'm going to give you examples. Let's say you're someone who tries to like smoke to avoid boredom or to take away like anger. Maybe you had a face off with someone or something, or you're bored, or you don't have anything to do, or you overeat to do the same thing, or whatever it is, right? I need you to smoke that blunt, okay? And observe if it took away the boredom. I need you to eat that food and observe how it makes you feel about yourself. I need you to drink that drink. Don't judge yourself. In this process, we don't need shameful and judgmental self-talks. We need you to just observe. From a standpoint of, I am just an observer. I want to see what it does as it is going on. So I need you to do all those things without judgment, but also like taking notes of everything it's doing to you and how it's making you feel as a person. You would realize that when you're doing these things, you're not usually yourself. Let's say you're less productive when you smoke and drink. Let's say you are less confident when you overeat because it does things to your body that you don't like, right? You take note of those things in the moment. As you're overeating, you're like, is it even making me happy? Is it even taking the boredom away? When you're drinking and you're smoking, just to escape boredom, then you sit in as you're drinking and you're smoking, ask yourself, am I less bored? Am I happier? No, don't lie to yourself, because this also doesn't need you to lie to yourself, right? Observe how it does make you feel. And you would realize that it doesn't even do anything. Everything is in the mind. The happiness, the dopamine, it's in your mind, because it's like a trigger, it's like a routine, right? And so you need to make the habit unattractive in order to break it. So aside from many other things that you could do to break a habit, such as removing the cues, because a cue is anything that you see and then you just autopilot get into your habits. So let's say, for example, for someone who's a smoker, the cue for them is like seeing a lighter or hearing that sparkle or seeing like a crusher around. You need to take it out, but that's for another video, right? In this video, I want to teach you how to make the habits unattractive so that you wouldn't feel like indulging in the next time, right? Because there will be no next time, because you're not going to relapse. You understand? Because you've used that last week to really go all in that habit and observe exactly how the habit makes you feel. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then you realize that it doesn't even do much. It's just your brain playing tricks on you, right? And so you take this in, you take notes of it, and you're like, okay. So, I mean, when I smoked, I wasn't even feeling like, you're in the moment. So you'd be like, as I'm smoking, if you even realize that the high you're chasing is not there anymore, right? You realize that the comforts that you're chasing in that food is not there, right? Maybe it was there the first time you tried it, but it's not there, right? You realize that the boredom you're running away from is still there. You're still bored. You're just doing something while still bored, right? And then you, after taking all this, and don't break it. When you have realized these things, don't rush and break it. Give yourself that 1 week. Still do it again, right? I said do it all in, right? You do it on Monday, you do it on Tuesday, because you didn't have a problem with it doing it anyway. But I don't need you to do it from like an autopilot thing, being controlled. I need you to do it as a self-aware person. So you do it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you have used all those days to take appropriate information about exactly what it does to you. You would realize that it maybe has made you let's say last week was more productive. Maybe that week also you realize that you've gained so much weight, you're less productive, you don't look the way you want. And you take all those notes in the process, not after. In the process, this would make the habits unattractive to you. And this would attach that feeling of disgust to the habits, because it's like, I mean, is it even all that anyways? As you're high, you're like, so I need you to be in the observer seat, not in the place where you're like hiding, trying to shame yourself. No, do it completely. And then when the Monday comes where you want to lock in, right? You remember that even that last week, it was so fucking shitty. Like, there was nothing that really, the habits were not even all that. I just glamorized it in my mind. And so you're able to go all in with your locking in process, because you remember how those habits made you feel, and it was not good. It was not good. Especially as you did it excessively and you were observant of yourself. You realize that you were not even yourself anymore. And anytime you have the urge to relapse, you remember the last time when you did that particular habit, how it made you feel. You remember that you didn't even feel good. In the moment, you didn't even feel good. And so relapsing is even going to be hard, because it's like, is it that feeling again? I want to go and chase. Like, it's not even doing anything, to be honest. So this video is really long, but this is exactly how you're going to break a habit without relapsing, right? And so I need you to take notes of this. If you need help, if you need guidance, the link is in my bio to click. And yeah, honestly, this will take you really far with your goals.